Okay, somebody says, okay, nevertheless, it frightens me to think that I may have to give away my arms and legs without discriminating between what's heavy and what's light. I'm reduced to fear through confusion. So what he's saying is that somebody is saying, okay, we understand that. But still, these kind of bodhisattvic, life practice is, bodhisattvic practice is so good, so profound, so universal, it's almost beyond my reach. So our ego will come up with another better kind of convincing, kind of idea that we might be attracted, and people do sometimes. I just want to do what I can. I don't want to think about anything else. That's Buddha's saying, yeah, you should. But the limits of what you can do is, in a way, there's no limit what you can do. With little training, with little changes. So it really frightens me, to give my arms and legs, because that's what is expected of from those who are great beings, who are bodhisattva, who are selfless. So Shantideva is saying that is misunderstanding. That is a confusion, and in fact, it is a sign and symptom of that you don't know how to go about practicing something. You don't know this thing called, what we call it, light negative and heavy negatives. Meaning that, or in this case, the what is, in other words, light and heaviness has to do with the, in some way it looks like objective, that there's the actual weight. When you lift it, you feel the weight. Sometimes it's subjective, you feel the weight, but if you really look at it, it's not real weight, but the weight is carried upon by us in our mind, in our bodily strengths. So here is saying that is something such, when we don't know the discrimination between what is heavy and what is light, such confusion will generate fear. For over countless eons, I have been cut, stabbed, burned, and flayed alive innumerable times, but I have not awakened. Yet the suffering involved in my awakening will have a limit. It is like the suffering of having an incision made in order to remove and destroy greater pain. This is 1500 years ago. They're talking about a little surgery here. And that sounds a little better. The little incision. They're cutting up the whole body. So, in other words, if you are well trained in what's light and what's heavy, actually, those things that seems to be so hard that we almost unbearable, compared to other heavy issues, they're perfectly bearable. People are sort of happy. Like, some people go to war even they're being almost threatened to die. They do that. And we do it. We allow our dentist doctor to pull our teeth and drill it. That's painful. But we allow them to do it. Why? There are bigger issues. We may not like that particular moment of pain, but everybody pay for it to do it. But if you look at the way we look at it spiritually, that's a stupid thing. Why you pay somebody to make you miserable? But it's going to look like that because you don't know what's going on. Spiritual matters are going to look like that too. Why you do this, give this? Why you let other people take advantage of you? Why, you do this, always kind to others who never kind? There's kind of look-alike stupidness, and our ego will constantly I watch cartoons. It's like a little devil telling us, "Don't do this, don't do that." Our ego is literally this ego is telling that. And our wisdom, we should be reminded of this. Buddha says, "Okay, just don't worry." By the way, it's your brother. I remember as a kid, I saw my brother cheating on giving sampa, barley flour. There are two kinds of barley flour. One is bean barley flour. One is bean flour. One is bean sampa. One is a barley flour sampa. So barley flour sampa is, people will love it. Everybody likes it. Bean sampa is as a social status. Now that I look back, it's better than barley actually. But as a social status, it is only eaten by poor people. They have nothing else to do. So you always make both, but you make more of the barley sampa. When the pilgrims, in tradition, pilgrims are always supported by the villages they pass through. Or sometimes beggar will come. There is a little window on the side, like a back door window. Little window. They know where to go. And you don't come out, they don't have to come in, unless it's a special thing. Right? But normal, just... And you stick your... and there's a lot of sampa left. And then you scoop up one sampa and then give it to them. They have a little pouch. I saw my brother doing a trick. You put a lot of bean sampa first. Then you put a little bit of a barley sampa on the top. And the beggar will think, oh yeah, this is a lot of barley sampa. They're happy. And then you quietly stick this ladle in their bag. They will never know what's inside. So I kind of like that. I like to try that too. Watching my brother doing the tricks. And I did that. Whenever you do stupid things, you always caught. My mother saw it. She scolded me and she said, think carefully. Are you going to do this to your own brother? You know, you'd never do like that. For a second I said, what is he talking about? Then I realized that. And it really hurt me too. It was touched me, and I'll never forget that. There's something in our mind. We are dear and near to us, but we distance ourselves for our selfish reason or whatever reason. Is that right? So in other words, Buddha is saying, actually, he is your brother. Is that right? You see in TV shows all the time, the brother and sister meeting after 30 years or something. It's exciting, is that right? Something like that is literally happening, and it literally is. And then there is no reasons to be miserable about if somebody take advantage of you. It's your brother. Yeah, we do that. We don't mind. And we can train to not to be mind. Seriousness of the problems are basically defined by our own attitudes. They don't present themselves. We define it. This is too much. Is that right? We always say, no more. Is that right? You accept first time and the second time. Third time, no more. Some people go up to 6th or 7th. Some go 10th or 12th. Some go 1 or 2 years. But some go until 15th year, and then they say. But anyway, everybody makes their own rules. So you can tell that we are making the rules. How much is how much?
No.
In other words, sufferings we go through in the form of, say, blame or abuse, verbal abuse, whatever, even financial, whatever, political, is actually nothing compared to the suffering we define. So we need, if you think we are intelligent, Buddha is confirming us and really is trying to teach us, saying, you better know this. Because you already, in a way, you know it's nothing. But somehow in the middle, you decided it's such a big deal.
Is there a suffering that's a big thing?
Can you say again?
Well, here we're talking about suffering that's a nothing, like an incision. Is there a suffering that's something big?
Yeah, of course we are doing. I mean, that's true. There's a little suffering. There's a big suffering. What makes the big suffering and the little suffering is us. That's what I'm